Wrestling Report. I'm my partner Ryan. I'm your host J-Man. This edition of the IWR, we're going to do our 2011 WWE Night of Champions review, just getting off the air with the pay-per-view. First matchup, we had the WWE Tag Titles and Line 1 champion, the Air Boom, Kofi Kingston, and Evan Bourne went up against Miz and R-Truth.
Yeah, this was pretty good. Yeah, they did some really cool stuff in here. Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston doing some really cool double team stuff. Having matching gear now. Really looking like a respectable tag team. In WWE and trying to create, rebuild this division up to what it used to be. This was a pretty good stuff here. I was not expecting them to do as much as they did with it, but it ended up with a weird finish. With Miz kind of shoving the referee down and getting a DQ, and R-Truth, hitting the referee and stuff, and then being some kind of weird thing where it's a conspiracy and we're all be getting screwed and we should be in the main event, blah blah, and all this. It went to a DQ, but it was actually a very good match for as long as it lasted and how good it was. So.
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining, a good way to start the card off. Kind of weird with the DQ finish on the first match, which was kind of poor, but really just showing the brightness of the future that is the team of Air Boom. They guys who really can renovate the tag division and make it something that has been so stale for so long, can make it really bright and have a shining future. And Miz and R-Truth, I'm not really a fan of the combination right now, but they've really, they got in there and they did some great stuff. So as you said, with great double team stuff like that. So the Air Boom retaining the tag titles there. Second matchup, we had the IC title on the line with champion Cody Rhodes went up against Ted DiBiase Jr. This was a pretty good match. I really thought going into this in the preview, I said that these guys really want to prove something. These guys are the former legacy members, the former tag partners, all this and that, really not getting that much time over the past couple of years. But now Cody Rhodes with his gimmick and Ted DiBiase not really doing too much, and finally getting this spot on pay-per-view, and it really seems like he took his advantage at this time and really made the most of it, and really looked really impressive in this matchup. But Cody Rhodes getting the win in this match. I hope this continues, but Cody Rhodes still the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, both guys looking good here. I got the feeling that Ted was like, well, I'm getting on pay-per-view. I better show up and do something here. Cody looked good. Ted looked real good as well. Just a good, solid match. The crowd, for whatever reason, was not into this. They were chanting boring. But, you got to look, what they were trying to do and really give, Ted an opportunity to maybe impress and show, what he could do and in the ring and stuff. And this was not bad. This was a pretty decent match here, and I enjoyed it. Yeah. And, like I said, Cody Rhodes won. So.
Next matchup, we had the Fatal 4-Way match for the United States title featuring champion Dolph Ziggler versus Jack Swagger, Alex Riley, and John Morrison.
I do think they need to do more matches like this to get more talent. I think that it's like one of those things where it's like you get 4 guys into the ring and you kind of just let the guys go and kind of have more of a spot match, kind of have more exciting type thing. This was definitely that. Morrison doing his deal, doing the little storyline with Dolph and Swagger. Just interesting, stuff. Swagger pretty much actually had the win, and Dolph coming in and shoving him off and getting the pin on Morrison, I believe. So
something like that.
Yeah, it was Morrison on a power bomb. So it was interesting. They're going to continue this feud. Vicky acting like, oh, I'm not. Dolph's my main man, and so I knew Swagger was going to lose and all this, blah blah. Yeah, just they're continuing the storyline. But a couple times where we jumped and we were thought, oh, well, is this guy going to win?
Yeah.
Oh, is this guy going to win? So I thought that was well booked because we really didn't know who was going to win the match until the end.
It's a very entertaining matchup here. Really focused on just most of their mid-card talent, which is they have a very young talent that these guys could really prove, and giving them time on pay-per-view. I thought they did great to really establish that and book this well. And really in this match, as he said, it looked like anybody in this match could have really won this. Alex Riley we thought for sure was going to win at one time, then Jack Swagger, John Morrison had a couple opportunities, and then Dolph Ziggler sneaking in that win there. But hopefully we can see more with these kind of 4 guys here. It looks like they could continue that into the future, but Dolph Ziggler still your United States champion. Next matchup, we had the World Title on line 1 champion Randy Orton went up against Mark Henry. Mark Henry coming in here with his massive push that he's been getting, and coming in here for his World Heavyweight Championship opportunity, and he ends up winning the World Heavyweight Championship. I know Ryan called it. I just did not want to see it, but we end up seeing the new World Heavyweight Champion in Mark Henry. Not too great of a match here, but really something where they just play off the dominance of Mark Henry and just had really Mark Henry dominate Randy Orton throughout this match, really just kind of bending him and breaking him and just slamming him all around the place here. And had a flurry from Randy Orton, thought he was going to get the RKO, couldn't hit it, and they were playing off that whole thing of how is he going to hit a maneuver off of Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. He can't do anything off this, and really played it off. Couldn't hit the RKO. Ended up doing the world's strongest slam and new world heavyweight champion, Mark Henry.
They did play this off real well. Like I said, the match was not that super, super great. They did as much as they could do with Mark Henry. Like, it was one of those Kane things where it was like, he gave the guy the title because, deserved it, he put his dues in, and a kind of thing like that, and it is a deserving thing. I think, I really don't think he'll have it for very long. But you know, interesting. He beat Randy Orton clean. You know, got on the mic afterwards and was just talking and saying, "You guys didn't believe me. You didn't think it was going to happen.
I proved it.
Don't cheer for me now. You guys didn't think I was going to win."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. It was hilarious. Right after he won.
So disgruntled.
Yeah. Nobody in the crowd was just like, really.
There was this still shot of this woman that just had her face and was like, "What just happened?"
It was like John Cena, the one where John Cena got fired.
Yeah.
Like or he lost matches way back got fired.
Exactly.
There was kids just like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was
Come on,
crazy.
people. But yeah, this was not anything super great. But Mark Henry getting the win, you know, like I thought it was going to happen. So
yeah. Next matchup, we had the Divas title on the line when champion Kelly went up against Beth Phoenix.
You know, I said in the preview I thought Beth was going to win. This was in her hometown. You know, it was kind of be a robbery type thing. But then I think I also said, you know, it would be interesting to see if they would just let Kelly continue to win and kind of just do this maybe angle where they kind of gain the respect of of Kelly for continuing to win and kind of. You know, we've talked about this numerous times, you know, that Trish Stratus factor.
Yes.
The thing about where, you know, you have Trish Stratus and she was not that great of a wrestler. She worked her way around it. She got better and better and is arguably considered the best in WWE's history as a woman wrestler. So, I mean, it's interesting to see what they're going to do with Kelly here and continue to push her forward. You know, the crowd was not for Kelly at all. It was it was really crazy.
Hometown girl, yeah.
Yeah, Beth. It was the crowd reaction for this women's match was probably the best crowd reaction I've seen for a women's match in like a long time.
Yeah.
So it was definitely really cool to see, and Kelly getting the roll. It was a roll up win or something or other, real fast, and the people just couldn't believe they were stunned.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was pretty crazy, and really some more great work from Kelly. Really showing her athleticism, which I think we all know she had, but almost they kind of played off as her the Barbie doll, this kind of thing, and not really the wrestler type. But she really showed some great athleticism here. I saw the first, superplex in a women's match in a long time. I can't remember the last one with Beth Phoenix doing to Kelly. Looks like she almost destroyed her. But some really great stuff, and I hope they continue this kind of thing where it's kind of the last two pay-per-views I thought Beth Phoenix was going to win, and they're really tricking us and really playing it off right with the people that thought that Beth Phoenix would move on as a new Divas champion, but keep it on Kelly in the hometown of Beth Phoenix. I thought that was great. It really just shows that they're caring now about the Divas division, which is something good, and they really need to continue that. But Kelly's still your Divas champion. Moving on to the WWE Championship match, so this will be the main event, not being the main event, sub-main here, with champion Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena. John Cena coming to this match yet again and winning the WWE Championship I feel like we're doing this review over and over again as John Cena winning the championship here. A pretty good match, not anything spectacular here. Had some interference with Ricardo coming out, and they ended up putting him in the STF and tapping out to John Cena's STF there. But, I mean, just the same type thing. John Cena, known as a 10-time WWE champion, the most reigns of WWE champion in history or something like that. But John Cena, your new WWE champion yet again.
Oh, man. I've not been on either side of this. I'm not a hater and I'm not a lover of John Cena, But, man, you gotta have some credible heels. You gotta have, I've said this 100 times, and like I said, I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over again. You need to have someone credible enough to beat him.
Yeah. You can't just have CM Punk. You can't just have that guy.
You just can't. It's horrible that they just keep doing this, not giving any of these guys a chance to look good or anything, to make a clean win on John Cena at all, ever. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where they're going to go with this. I'm guessing that maybe Del Rio going to cash in a title shot, his rematch or something. I don't know what they're going to do and I was telling him, I was like, man, they need to just have Del Rio win this clean,
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Just somebody needs a heel. A heel needs to beat John Cena clean, not CM Punk.
So we saw it first with the Miz. Miz couldn't get a win over him clean. Yeah. Now you see it with Del Rio. Now can't get a win over him clean. Who knows where they go with this title run? Do they finally carry it all the way on to WrestleMania with The Rock? Who knows what they'll do there if it carries on. But John Cena, your new WWE champion, and Alberto Del Rio dropping the title after a month there. Moving on now to the main event, we have the no DQ match between Triple H and CM Punk. And
get ready for this, people.
Yeah, get ready for this one.
This is way over here long.
If you're expecting something normal, this ain't going to be something normal here. And if CM Punk won this match, Triple H had to resign as COO of WWE. This was some crazy booking towards the end of this. We thought Vince Russo got his hand on this one because if we thought the SummerSlam ending was some kind of craziness, this was all over the place. And it was a great match up until the craziness ensued at the shenanigans at the end of this. Had Miz and R-Truth come out and start beating down both guys. Had, Triple H or CM Punk, I can't remember which one of them, going for a cover, they ripped him off. Had, the other guy go for a cover, ripped him off. They couldn't have any other Laurinaitis came out. Kevin Nash returned again because we knew he'd probably get involved again. Laurinaitis calling him in, and Triple H hitting the pedigree and getting the win over CM Punk.
Wow, this was really good up until that part at the end. You know,
really good stuff.
Punk did an awesome Shane McMahon elbow spot off the the corner post to the announce table. Yeah, it was really good stuff up until there. I was really enjoying it. Very, very just attitude feely.
Yes.
Just a lot of brawling in the crowd. Just very, very good stuff. And then all this stuff happened. It was like literally 10 minutes of just what is going on? We were just like.
We have nowhere where it's going.
Because here's the thing. They had Miz and R-Truth come out, beat down both guys, and then put Punk over in the cover, and then
rip him off after he kicks off, and then
and then Laurinaitis come out, and then a referee's knocked out, and then they knocked out another referee. It really felt like this was the Vince Russo booking the end of this. Yeah. This was crazy. You know, I can handle the SummerSlam finish.
Yeah.
A lot of that made sense, except for Kevin Nash. We had no idea what that, but that eventually made sense when he Del Rio cashed in. I have no idea where this is going.
They want you to pay attention to Raw tomorrow to see what definitely happens. That's for sure, to see what happens moving on in the future with this storyline that has now just become a big ball and almost a big mess right now with what's going on at the end of this pay-per-view. But Triple H getting the win. It'll be interesting to see what happens on Raw tomorrow and into the future. But that will now wrap up our 2011 WWE Night of Champions review from my partner Ryan. I'm your host, Jamie Man. Thank you for watching another edition of the It's Wrestling Report, your source for professional wrestling news, information, opinions, and stuff.